Today I want to show you how to make our edamame burgers. I want to teach you a little bit about soybeans first off. In all the confusion of health and diet world these days, we are afraid of soy. I have learned from some doctors, especially Dr. Joel Furman, look him up, that we do need the protein from soybeans. We just don't need the GMO, monocropped commodity soy that is connected to some different diseases and cancers. But if you don't want to eat processed soy, you can fall in love with edamame beans like I did. So I want to show you the seeds, right? These are edamame beans from our garden, and we save our own seeds. Can you see those? These are seeds. These are non-GMO, heirloom organic, and we're not going to process them into a, we're going to make a burger, but we're not going to make a TVP, soy, GMO, whatever burger, right? We're going to make it from the real deal. So these are the beans, and we grow them. This is the bean growing. And if you can keep them from the groundhogs of Akron, you will come up with a big old crate like that. Can you see that? Everybody see the beans? See the beans? Beans are good. These are really high in protein, good fats, and they don't have all the estrogen problems of processed soy. We'll make that very clear. So, the bean burgers, when you grow the beans, you have to shell them. Those beans come in a pod that's really stuck to the bean. It's not one that you just like rip open like a string bean, right? And the bean pops out. They're fresh. So you have to blanch them for about 8 to 10 minutes, right? Blanching means bring your pot of boiling water, drop them in, take them out, rinse them under cold water, and then you pop them. They literally pop right out, okay? So if you don't want to grow them, you want to go to the grocery store, right, and buy like a Cascadian Farms or an organic, non-GMO, shelled edamame bean. Got it? Okay. So after they're blanched, this is what you get after you pop them all out. And we put them in the freezer, already measured, to make our Vegan Iron Chef award-winning edamame burgers. So, all right, food processor, your #1 like love ingredient machine of vegan food. I use it every day, all day. Edamame beans are gonna go in. I don't mind anything being chunky. I'm gonna save my bags, save my bags. All right, so we're gonna throw in some edamame beans. Don't mind the noise. And we're gonna leave them kindly chunky, right? And you can use this kind of a recipe. Can you see me? Where am I at? For any kind of a bean burger, right? You can do this with any kind of beans you want. Cook them first. These, obviously, are not super cooked. They're just blanched. So I'm gonna do that one more time because I'm gonna make enough for all of you to come this week and eat them. All right, one more time. Okay, so there's your edamame beans. And to that, we're gonna add some mushrooms, just because we like mushrooms, right? I totally made this up when we did the Vegan Iron Chef competition, I wanna say 3 years ago, because it was the middle of April, and we were having a discussion, and the Daiya cheese, we're gonna use this in a little bit, was our mystery ingredient, right? But everybody was complaining they couldn't find any local ingredients in the middle of April. And I kept thinking, oh, but I have friends and I have stuff in the freezer. So I'm going to show you what I came up with that's also local. All right, so we got some mushrooms and some edamame. And they also wanted us to be able to show our protein content and have a good protein content, because that's the one thing people ask you 1,000 times a day if you're vegan, is where do you get your protein? Edamame beans are a very good source. So, onions, and these are radishes. Radishes add great flavor, they're good for your blood, and you can grow them twice a year here in Akron, once in the spring and once in the fall. And they last a long time when you grow them yourself. And they add a ton of flavor that you wouldn't normally think to cook with. And you can see how well I'm measuring. Sorry about that. I wrote my whole first cookbook without measurements, and my mother made me go back and rewrite it, and she sat there with a notebook and wrote them all down. So turnips, right? I know we don't use turnips very much anymore. My grandma used to love turnips. We're gonna compost these, excuse me. I'm not gonna peel the turnip. I'm literally gonna throw the whole thing into the food processor and grind it up. What better way to eat turnips, and you don't even have to taste them. And they don't get slimy and weird and watery. And okay, got some chunky turnips. Doesn't get any easier than this, does it? Okay. All right, and some fresh cilantro that you can be growing inside your house, as I do, because it's good for you. And I love cilantro. And I'm just gonna give that a light little, you know what? I'll throw the garlic in with it. Garlic, local, fresh, well actually dried, from last season, yes. And while we're on the subject, this is a bulb, this is a clove. That's something I had to learn a long time ago. And I made that mistake numerous times, and I know many of you have also. If you want to plant garlic, just take your garlic like this, right? Peel it into your cloves. This is the bottom end, and this is the top end where it will grow. Whoop. And you plant it in October and harvest it in June. And then you'll have these. And you can hang them up and dry them, and you'll have all the garlic you need. Okay. All right, I gotta do that again. Hold on. We don't want stemmy cilantro. We're going to write the recipe on the screen for you too, I do believe. And you can make these, you can make the same size of a batch if you want and put them in the freezer and pop them out anytime you want. And you can make up all kinds of ways to use them. This is fresh local ginger that I grind up in season from the farmer's market. And I put it in little baggies like this, and I put it in the freezer. It's wrapped up numerous times so it doesn't get freezer burn. And then I thawed a little piece out, and I'm gonna go ahead and put that, it's kind of a big piece, and I'm gonna put that right in there since it's already thawed out. And then for a little more protein, we're gonna add some shelled hemp seeds. Can you see those? These are the shelled ones, not with the crunchy outer stuff. I'm gonna dump those in, clean up my mess a little bit. And then anything with edamame always goes better with a little soy sauce. Just why not, right? If you don't want soy sauce, don't add it. Just add a little bit of sea salt. I'm totally cool with that. And a little sriracha for some heat. If it were in the summertime, I would have a gazillions of different kinds of hot peppers, and I would not be using the bottle. However, for today, we're gonna go with sriracha. All right. Throw on some gloves, because the health department likes gloves. Got it. Okay, they're talking to me. All right, so here's a bowl of stuff, right? All that stuff, all ground up, all in here together. And I'm gonna take my hands. When I find big pieces like this, I normally eat them, so I'll save it to the side. And we're just gonna mix this up. There's not a lot of liquid in this, so we're not gonna have to add a lot of binder, but we do have to have some kind of a binder, because you can see that right now I just have this a really beautiful salad full of vegetables that we could just eat like this if you really wanted to. Oh, another piece of radish. Okay, so in order to make this form into some sort of a burger, we're gonna leave these vegetables sit for a minute and get kind of wet, right? And then I wanna add, this is a local corn flour, and if you can see, it's really fine. It's not like a corn grit or a corn for corn bread, like a corn meal. This is a corn flour. I love this stuff. It's ground fresh, it's grown in Millersburg, And if you want to buy some, I would be happy to put it on the shelf. So we're going to mix that in just a little bit, and that's going to add a little bit of a binder, but it doesn't suck up a lot of liquid. So whoop. We're going to add a little shot of lemon juice at this point and add a little more water, a little more wateriness to it. And that'll brighten it up a little bit, and then we'll finish it off with a little bit of spelt flour. This is fresh ground, whole spelt flour, not a white flour. This is from the spelt berry, which is similar to wheat, and it has 90% less gluten than wheat. It's locally grown and fresh ground for me every week. And we have all kinds of people here in Akron who are gluten intolerant, gluten insensitive, and they really, really enjoy the spelt. If you have celiac disease, come and try it on a day when you don't have a whole lot to do and see how you feel. I have not had anyone come back and tell me they got sick. Isn't that great? So as you can see, we're starting to be able to hold it together a little bit, right? So I'm gonna add just a little more flour. We don't want it to be real floury tasting, but you got a ton of flavor in here already, right? So finish mixing that up. You can see it starting to form, right? Starting to stick together. And then we're gonna pan fry these in just a very little bit of organic, non-GMO canola oil. You can use sunflower, safflower, olive oil. Just please make sure it's non-GMO. I would greatly appreciate it. And so will your body. Okay. Hold that thought. I'm going to fire it up.
I'm going to pop in here for a second.
Go for it.
Hi, my name is Blue, and I'm with the Akronist, and I have a few questions here.
Yeah, do it.
So you said that we could actually not use we could use any beans for this recipe.
Yes, you can use any beans, and you could use any vegetables. If you wanted to make, for instance, and we'll do this at a later date, if you wanted to make a pinto bean burger, right? You could do the same thing, cook your pinto beans, and mix in carrots, peppers, onions, any kind of vegetables you want, right? Ground it all up like this and do the exact same thing. Add just a little bit of corn flour and a little bit of spelt flour or whole wheat flour, or
as long as you have that
a teff flour, or or you could maybe do a brown rice or a brown rice flour. But literally, it's just any kind of a mixture that you want. Lots of flavorful things, though, because if it's not lots of flavorful things, the flour will take over.
Right.
Right.
You don't have a flour tasting burgers.
Exactly. So I learned a lot of really interesting things in the last week about commercially made bean burgers. If you look at the ingredients, there's all kinds of stuff on there that you don't know what it is. And I told my kids years ago, if you can't pronounce it and tell me what it is, you're not allowed to eat it.
That's a good point.
So
Good way to live your life.
that was a great moment in the grocery store one day when my kids were begging for Doritos, and the lady behind me thought I was the evil witch of the West. But it makes sense to me. But this is so much easier. And look at all this we have. And it took, all of 8 minutes, right?
So if you're having a get-together and you have a vegetarian or a vegan friend come over, and you're going to pop some frozen patties out of the freezer and serve them, please don't insult them. Take some time and look how easy this is to make. Make a couple burgers for them. And I guarantee you they will be much happier with this than a frozen patty that's tasteless, basically.
Well, and they have a lot of fillers. They have a lot of fillers, a lot of wheat glutens, the TVPs and soy byproducts, right? This is real. It's real food. There's no scary ingredients. You can look them all up. The kids can pronounce them.
Can't go wrong here.
You can't go wrong, and you can make a bazillion of them. You can put them in Ziploc bags, freeze them up, pull them out whenever your little heart desires.
Well, I'm going to let her get back to what she does best here, and I'm just stepping in for a second. But please, try this out. You don't have. You can veer off. Make what you want. Add the ingredients you want. You just
be adventurous
here. So please. Go for it. Your vegetarian and vegan friends will be very happy that you did.
Yeah, and you don't have to be vegan and vegetarian to enjoy the benefits of our creativity. For me, this is a good high protein dish that I will rely on and use and eat, on a regular basis. And I'm also going to serve this on a salad. So really quickly, while my oil is heating up, I'm going to show you my dressing, all right? This one will crack you up if you're my age or any older, because we had to use this Daiya cheese, and I'm not a big fan of processed food, period, right? Vegan, non-vegan, whatever. I'm just not a big fan of it. The less hands involved, the better, as far as I'm concerned, right? However, I had to use this as my mystery ingredient. Daiya cheese. It's a pea protein cheese, so it's not GMO, right? It's not made with a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't mind it so terribly much. So this recipe, and you can see I'm not cleaning out my food processor because who wants to throw away all that yummy goodness, right? It's part of the burger, it's gonna be part of the dressing. So I'm not afraid. So we're gonna put this in the food processor with some Vegenaise, right? I wish I had an audience. I would say, who remembers what I'm doing right now? You'll see. All right, so we got a little cheese, got a little Vegenaise, right? I want you to start thinking, this will gross you out. I want you to start thinking Velveeta, right? Little Velveeta, little Hellmann's. And back in the day, my mom used to use these stupid tiny little jars of pimento peppers. But nowadays, I go down to Schaefer's Market down the street and buy their locally produced red pepper relish. So I don't know if anybody's coming back to this memory just yet, but this was a recipe that was on the Velveeta package when it first came out, and it was disgusting. And my mother loved it and ate it with celery all the time. Oh, it was so bad. But with these ingredients, it's like so super cool, and the people really like it. So this was my mystery ingredient salad dressing. And those of you who remember pimento cheese spread, you will crack up when you come and try this. So it's way better ingredients, and it actually goes really well with this salad. So let me get some new gloves on. Okay, now you can see that with just that little bit of corn flour and spelt flour, we're able to pick it up into a little, form it into a little patty, somewhere between a golf ball size and a little baseball size, right? And just press it out real easy. We don't want to make them too super huge because they'll fall apart. And put them in just a little bit, like I said, the non-GMO oil, any kind you like. And then we're just going to really gently fry this off. We're not going to deep fry so it sucks up 1,000 calories of oil, right? So I'm not trying to get fat again. So we'll just toast it off really lightly. And then, can I walk away? Over here, I have a nice, lovely bed of fresh, local, organic spinach from Morningside Farm in Healy. Okay, so we have our plate of fresh, local, organic, beautiful spinach. And to that, we're gonna add a two very lightly hand-fried, beautiful edamame burgers. And to top it off, we have some of our lovely roasted red pepper dressing with vegan cheesiness. And there you have it, Miss Julie's edamame burger salad with cheesy dressing. Thank you for watching, and come over this week and eat some. Miss Julie's Kitchen, 1809 South Main Street in South Akron.
Okay, so we're gonna try these here.
All right.
And they look fantastic. I can tell you that. My mouth's been watering the whole time because I've been watching this from behind the scenes, and I'm excited. So let's go ahead and dive in here, Mr. Miller.
Yeah, I've never tried edamame before, so
except for
it's the first time for everything.
In Asian food restaurants, they have them. That's the only time I've had them.
Yeah. I guess I just didn't realize I've tried it.
This isn't. I'm not just saying this to make it better either, because this is a segment recording. This is fantastic.
Delicious.
I mean, even if you are a die-hard meat eater, you should try this. It's about texture a lot of times. When it comes to meat, and if you do like meat, it's really the texture is what gets people. This has the texture, it has the feel, the flavor.
Yeah.
It's such a round, there's so much flavor going on here. I can't even describe what we have going on in this. Having another bed of spinach. So, I don't know you, but I give it 2 thumbs up.
Me too.
The sauce.
Yeah.
That sauce really makes it. So, you want to eat healthy? Make some changes? Well, do the meat-free Mondays. Make these every Monday for your family. Even a picky eater. I have a 6-year-old kid. I bet you I could talk her into eating these with a little bit of coercion. Ketchup always does well, exactly. But yeah, give this a try. You need to try these today. Come down to Miss Julie's Kitchen. Try them out if you don't want to cook them yourself, but if you don't, cook them yourself. Your family will love you for it, and you'll live longer. Well, anyways, I don't know about this. I want to eat, so we're going to go ahead and get some eating in here.
Yeah, we have some eating to do.
That's the important part.